Look, you didn't find this reading by accident. Your strongest spiritual gifts are already waking up, and this message is here to confirm exactly what you felt in your soul all along. So, if you're ready, let's open up these gifts and see what we got. So welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, hi, I'm Dap. I do pick a card readings, tarot all day long. I do personal readings as well. If you want to click the link in the description, if you want a personal video that I send to you, I also go live every day. If you want to get a live reading, I do that for donations. But yeah, I'm always here. I show up in some way, shape, or form every single day. You know, this is what I do. But this is one that I've been wanting to do justice for a long time. Your strongest spiritual gifts, the gifts that you have, the abilities that you have innate within you, something that you're born with, something that maybe passed down from your bloodline, maybe from a past life. We all have tools that we can utilize in hard times, or even just naturally how we move in the world to help us get to say that life purpose of ours, get us out of those struggles that we go through. But there's also gifts that we kind of pick up along the way, or we develop as we align to our purpose in this lifetime, the lesson that we've never learned before, like the new lesson. I feel like the more we operate from a place of authenticity in our higher self and self-knowledge, the more we develop other gifts that maybe we were not born with. So we're going to look at, every pile is going to have two gifts, one that's quite natural and one that may be not so natural, maybe something that you have never thought about or never acknowledged. But hopefully this will help you to feel like you have more tools in your belt, if that makes sense. But y'all know how this works. So, you pick a image that you see on the screen. You pick with your third eye, not your first or second eye. The timestamps are in the pinned comment and also in the description. Some people like to watch all the piles and kind of get nuggets that way, see what resonates with them in that natural kind of way. Or you can pick one pile, go for it. But if it doesn't resonate, maybe pick another pile. If you were drawn to two piles, do that. But either way, this is for you. You use it how you want to. So, you're using your intuition as well, not making something fit that doesn't. But also, if this reading does hit for you, make sure to let me know in the comments. Put this out in the algorithm. Share this so that way someone can find this message who may really need it. Share it to somebody. Send a donation. Book a reading. All those are great ways to keep this channel running. But I won't bore you to death. I love you. I'll see you over there. Bye for now. Spirit guide you. Blessings in all we do. What up, pile number one? Welcome to your reading on your spiritual gifts, your strongest spiritual gifts. So we're going to kind of break this down into two of your strongest spiritual gifts. The first one is going to be the one that you connect to the easiest. It's the one that comes the most natural to you. You may picked it up, say, in a past life. It may be part of, like, say, your bloodline. It may not even feel like a spiritual gift. It comes so easy, right? And then the second gift is going to be the one that you have picked up along your spiritual journey, through your trials and tribulations, through connecting to your north node, your higher self, connecting to authenticity and, say, doing the work, basically, right? The one that may not be so natural to you, but you have a lifetime to perfect and to I don't want to say master, but to discover. How about that? But I do want to start with the astrological energy that's in the middle, and it's just gonna kind of describe your vibe, like where you're coming from, base level. You don't have to have these signs, but you could. Is Mercury and Scorpio in the 6th house. So mental, everything about you, like you have a certain persistence of mind that kind of outbeats everybody. You have, like, say, when you're like, no one is more determined at anything than you when you want to do something. When you got to do something, get something done, no one is this more persistent. Like Scorpio energy is persistent. It can almost veer on obsessive when it comes down to whatever it, like Scorpio is paired with, and in your case Mercury in the 6th house. So you have an affinity for, say, going deep and going pretty hard every single day. Whenever you want something, not even when you want something, it's just like you're that energy. You're intense in your everyday life. The 6th house is your routine, your work ethic, your health. You like, and Scorpio is like saying you go through certain intensities about it. Like you're very, like you can be very rooted and connected to your routine. So you may have, like, say, your sun in the 6th house or something like that. Mercury in the 6th house, like maybe a lot of 6th house placements. Virgo energy comes to mind. But just who you are is you have an ability to just kind of last longer than most people and go harder and go deeper on anything than most people, you know? So you would do really good in anything that has to do with research, investigation, going over the details in anything, all of that. Say medical work, like say, like where like the details really matter, and going, having stamina means something. So going to school for a very long time may not make sense. You have a mind for that. It's almost genius level. But the gift that you're most naturally connected to, the thing that you can do quite easily is the energy of the Emperor. And those playing cards that you see on the screen, by the way, next to the tarot, that's just gonna explain more into like your gifts, like maybe how they manifest, or like maybe how you use them, that kind of thing. But the Emperor is saying that you have the ability and the gift to build things. What I mean by building things, you're like the think of your energy like the creator. Like you have an ability to take, say, someone's creative ideas or your own creative ideas. I think you have an ability to take both, like mainly other people, like say people who can't necessarily, like they have the imagination and they have the creativity, but they don't necessarily have, say the practicality or the structure or the willpower, or the persistence to be able to bring it into life. So you help people bring their creations that live in their head, or help them find structure in those real loosey-goosey type of ideas and bring them into the real world. That's your gift. You have the gift of providing structure and a sense of order in chaos. You also have a way of being able to make the hardest decisions, hard decisions to leave things, or to, people come to you whenever, like, say they think that a hard, honest decision needs to be made. Like you're the one who can you're not heartless. It's quite the opposite. You're very tapped into the emotions of other people, but it's like you don't shy away from doing what needs to be done. I think you're that invested in whatever you do. It's like people see you as like the boss, the leader, the person, like in any aspect, like in your family, in your relationships, at work. Even if you're not even a boss, it's like you have a certain energy of like, what are we gonna, like people look to you like, what are we gonna do? Like when all bets are off and everything's going to shit, it's you who keeps it together. In any crisis, any catastrophe, any disaster, and you're able to calmly work through it. Like with a certain sense of laser focus. And this may come from, like, say, like parents, like watching your parents' dynamic. Like maybe you had a strong father figure, in the sense of like, well, I'll say this, a father figure that affected you strongly. Like either they were really absent and you had to watch, like, say, your mom pick up the pace and be both your mother and your father type of energy. One of your parents seem to have been absent. I'm feeling like you, or it could have been your mom, and you may have to lean on your dad. Either way, it's like you learned a real sense of like get it together, get it done. We ain't got time for this, because of like having to watch one of your parents really have to pick up the weight for the other parent, if that makes sense. So it's like that gift comes very naturally to you, because it's been instilled in you, like, you know, like there was no room to be a punk. There was no room to be, you know, not strong, growing up for you. And maybe that says a lot about how you kind of navigate the world as an adult. But like I said, the gift of the matter is like you give discipline to those who need it in ways just by showing up, not even trying to like be a mentor, a role model, or a sense of discipline anybody. You just are. You just are. You just are. You have expectations that are high, and people meet those expectations because they damn sure don't want to know what happens when they don't. That's just your energy. You make people kind of get their shit together, or at least want to get their shit together. You point it like just you, just being you shows other people, or make them question if they could do better. Do they have their shit together? Type of energy. It's that. Tough cookie. No matter if you're male or female, you're one tough cookie. Now the gift that you have that you don't necessarily tap into the easiest, or you may not be as aware of, is the world. Wow. The world is the last card in the deck. It's when everything comes together. It's like you have the gift of what I like to call interconnectedness. What does that mean? You're so aligned to your true path in this lifetime. Like you may have been, even if you don't necessarily notice it or understand it, it's like you've always known who you were, or always known what you need to do. You have a strong sense of self, and that strong sense of self breeds opportunities to be very authentic. And that authenticity is something that literally makes it hard for you to fail at anything. Like you put it on your sense of persistence, or on your, like, I work hard. Yeah, but working hard doesn't always mean that, doesn't always guarantee success. We like to think that in a perfect world, but like for you, it's almost like you always chose the right things. You always choose exactly what you need or what you should be doing, as opposed to like living a fantasy, or like wasting time on stuff that you don't need to waste time on. No, it's like time is money, baby. We ain't got time for it. It's like your gift is to really be able to see things through from start to finish. Complete circles, tying up loose ends. You may be like a life path number 9, a master number 22. You could be you could have just something in your chart like that signifies that maybe this is one of your last lives, or like you're at least closing karmic cycles, choosing to end these things that maybe certain people get stuck in a loop about. You have a way of like learning one hard time, like say the hard lessons that you learn one good time, or don't do it no more. It's like you don't find yourself on repeat over and over and over and over again, being stuck. That is not you. It's almost like your gift is closure. Your gift is to be able to say, I don't have to redo this over and over again. I don't have to feel like if I walk away from a person, if I walk away from anybody, if I decide to leave and do something else and get out my own way, like there's no guilt, you know, because I put everything I had into it when I was there, and like it wasn't pouring into me, so I said no and chose myself and moved on. That the 8 of Spades is indication of not being stuck in your own way. It moves, you know, it breaks those cycles. The Queen of Diamonds and the 7 of Diamonds is like saying you have patience. You have the gift of having enough patience to be able to know if something is worth your time and sticking to it and seeing it to the end. So you probably have a college degree. You probably like you could write a book. You could do anything that takes this the long game, because if you invest in it, then it's worth it. If you feel called to invest in it, it's probably worth it. It's like the things that you leave, the things that you finish You'll leave a legacy on this world. You leave a legacy on your name and on your family. That is your gift. You are somebody. Believe that you are somebody. No, really, somebody who meant to be somebody. Remembered. You have things to teach us. You pull the amethyst. Are you ready to transform your life? Through your spiritual connection with the divine, you can receive intuitive insights to help you in your daily life. You have the ability to transform your reality using the spiritual guidance that you receive. On the back it says Archangel Zadkiel. I create my reality. I can change my reality. It's easy for me to transform and transmute challenging situations. I use my intuition and follow my hunches. I'm aligned with higher wisdom and I pay attention to my dreams and easily interpret them. Sound off in the comments. Let me know how this resonated. If this resonated, put a purple heart in the comments because you know I love you. Book a personal reading with the link in the description. And remember, guys, if you got spirit, what spirit got you? Blessings, all we do. Bye.
Blessings in all we do. That do too. That universal. That do too.
All right, so what's up, pile number 2? Welcome to your reading. We're looking at what are your strongest spiritual gifts. So how I'm going to break this down is we're going to break it down 2 spiritual gifts. One is going to be the thing that you were kind of born into, like born being able to access like your essence, maybe from a past life, maybe from say your bloodline or whatever. But it's the gift that you probably can access so easily that you don't even know that you're doing it. It comes that naturally to you. And the second one is kind of what you have learned through your life experiences. You overcoming things, your trials and errors, like something that's special to your own spiritual path, right? And maybe something that gets stronger and stronger the more you align to your North Star or your actual highest self. And also something that may be a serious game changer whenever you're going through it, or whenever you're going through challenging times. It may be the thing that really, if you tap into it, could help you navigate these moments a lot easier than you used to in the past. So I want to start off with the astrology symbols in the middle. You have Jupiter in Leo in the 4th house. This is just your main essence, just kind of like how you move. You don't have to have that as a placement or those signs, but it just kind of explains like your home base. So Jupiter in Leo in the 4th house is somebody who is very generous. It's somebody who is very, you have a certain sense of magnetism or a certain sense of an ability to attract people to you, and also things to you, because you give off a warmth. You make people feel comfortable with Jupiter in the 4th house. Jupiter in the 4th house is very much an energy of, like, say, somebody who is very much rooted from a place of like home and a sense of family and safe space. You make people feel like family. You make people feel comfortable around you. You make people feel at ease, and you make people feel like they need to have you around. They like your energy can be kind of addictive for people. Like, should I say addictive? Because it's like your light shines like so bright from within. By the way, it's like it's a true, honest to God, like real tapped into its heart, into your heart chakra. So you can be very empathetic, a real sensitive person, a crybaby sometimes. Your emotions can be dramatic. You can have like somewhat dramatic emotions, or like how you display them or how you show your emotions can be kind of dramatic. And I think it makes everything a little bit more saturated, like, and like the way you see the world is like, I'm seeing bright colors. Think like going from the Wizard of Oz, like say that sepia tone, to like when she opens the door, when she lands in Oz, and like you just see these bright colors. It's like that's kind of how your inner world works. There's something real special about that. You have a gift for that. You have a gift for whenever you love yourself really hard. This is just your natural, like whenever you pour into yourself, whenever you show yourself and allow yourself to be seen and take up space, it's like you notice probably that people kind of warm up to you more, or like things kind of fall into place more. Like you, like when you have that, when you tap into that genuine confidence that you have, and everyone gets insecure every once in a while, but when you really tap into that confidence that you have, it's like doors open for you. Like it, like the universe responds to that for you, because that's something that you need to learn in this life, and need to own in this life is your sense of self, and that sense of like whatever brand of unique that I am is important and needed, you know. But the easiest or the most natural gift that you tap into is this justice card. And by the way, the playing cards that are next to those are going to represent, like, say, the circumstances, or like how you kind of tap into it. Maybe it's cartomancy, if you want to know. Reading playing cards is called cartomancy. But basically, like especially as a black person, there was no tarot cards, you know, like we didn't have access to those. We did have access to playing cards, bones for divination, dice, that kind of stuff. So like, so my ancestors probably used playing cards to divine, and do like what I do with tarot, you know. So I like to bring those out, and I like to honor them in that way sometimes. So thought I'd bring them out today. But justice comes up, which is the energy of like, okay, so you are like the equalizer. When things are not fair, like when it's almost a real karmic energy. When there's a situation that needs some adjusting, you get sent there without knowing, by the way. It's like you get pulled to it, and it's almost like you point things out, you show like how things need to be changed just by being yourself. And what I mean by that, let me give you an example. It's like, say you get a job at a place where, like, say it's a toxic work environment. Maybe the supervisor is real inappropriate, maybe inappropriate in a sexual harassment type of way, right? And say your presence there, like maybe they get on the wrong one, like they pick on the wrong one, and you shut everything down. Maybe before you get there, no one's been brave enough to say anything or speak on it, but something about your energy is like, oh hell no, not me. HR is like, I'm telling, you know, it's like you give that energy. And that's a crazy example because I went through it before. Like, this first thing popped in my head, but it's like, think those kind of things, like where people can't stand up for themselves, or like something has been going on for too long that's not fair. It's like you come in and you write that just by being you, by like pointing stuff out, like, y'all just okay with this? It's like, sometimes in just that way. Sometimes you may have to roll up your sleeves and stand up for people as well, because that 2 of hearts is connections and relationships. So it comes out the most whenever you are sticking up for somebody, standing up for somebody who don't have the means or the ability to stand up for themselves. And when you do that, you move mountains. It's more effective than you think. You think, I'm just do, like, that's what I'm supposed to do. But it's like, do you realize, like, the fact that it works, the fact that you actually get traction, you get somewhere, it's like, that's powerful. Like, you're when you move from that place, it carries so much weight. Also, I feel like you're like a karmic connector for people. So you may be that person that you may meet a person and be friends with them, right? Just so you can introduce them to your other friend, and they can date. And oh, there they go. And you may move on and not be friends with either one of them no more, and they get married. It's like there's a certain karmic thing that you have. It's like a connector energy, and it's almost in a way where you don't really realize it, but when you're moving from a place of doing those things, connecting people and also freeing people at the same time, in the sense of justice, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, moving from that moral compass of knowing what's right, you move mountains. You make a lot of things happen for yourself and other people. I think it comes from this place of the 5 of spades. Maybe you were bullied, or maybe you felt like when you were younger, you didn't have the voice or have the means to stick up for yourself. Maybe you didn't have always the agency, and no one stuck up for you. And so now that you have the ability, maybe you do that for other people. Now that you found your voice and found your power, you will never give it away, right? And that 9 of diamonds also says, like, the universe will be proud and lucky to make you, like, financially abundant. I think it's written in the cards for you, quite literally, because it's like saying you would put it in places where it needs to go. It's almost like saying, out of anyone who could be like a billionaire or should be a billionaire, it may be you, because you have the gift of knowing exactly what people need when they need it without them saying anything. A lot of times it's like saying, I think the world would be better off if people like you had access to wealth and material resources like that 9 of diamonds, because it's like less people would go without. You wouldn't hoard it. You wouldn't be selfish with it. You would be very generous with it, and you would give from your heart and give it to places where you know people can have a better chance at life because of what you have, if that makes sense. And that's a beautiful, beautiful energy. And that comes naturally and easy to you. You're very generous. Now, the gift that you are less aware of and maybe not so conscious of is the moon. And with this 10 of hearts and 10 of diamonds, the ace of diamonds, okay, basically, I'm gonna put it this way. Your gift that you kind of picked up on as you go, as you've been, say, connecting with your higher self, doing healing work, overcoming things, is this energy of the moon. It's almost like, think of it like a magic mind. Hear me out. You're magic. It's like you have a hard time. It's almost so mysterious and so like subconscious that you can't really connect to it. Like say the other piles, their gifts. Like this is a almost like your mood and your mind basically manifests. So when you're in a joyful mood, like say when you are optimistic and you're excited and you're happy and you're like, and you're tapped in and like you're on that wavelength of like, yes, you literally materialize that thing that you are excited about, or the thing that you want. Your emotions, say like you're an emotional spellcaster, so to speak. It's almost like you don't do it on a conscious way, like saying an incantation, lighting a candle or whatever. Like that could work for you for sure, but it's almost like saying whenever you really tap, like think when you really truly desperately just want something, and it's for something good, and it's not coming from a desperate place, but it's just coming from a place like I just really feel that this is what I need and what I want, and I'm praying for. It's like it materializes, for better or for worse. It's almost like you can do it with a person. Like thinking, like putting enough emotion into like the thoughts of a person, it transmits it to that person, and they'll think about you, and they may actually like pick up the phone and call you. You have the gift of basically your emotions are so strong they color the world around you and make things happen. Like your emotions can, without saying anything, without speaking, without doing anything, just feeling like having an open heart for somebody. They can feel that energy. You can heal people remotely. You can heal people from miles and miles apart. Like people that you haven't even spoken to. You have a way of being able to move energy through your body to objects and people and all sorts of things. And like the 10 of diamonds, is saying that it materializes from that pure emotion, like actual physical things, like when you really tap into the emotion of why you want to, like, so visualizing like putting yourself in a place where you can visualize, say, your manifestation. Like say you want to be I don't know, you want to be a movie star. This is the first thing about my head. A movie star. I don't know why. Like you want to be an actor. You and when you get that part, that breakthrough part, like what does it feel like? What does it feel like when you're actually on set and you have the job, when you're in hair and makeup, and then finally when you're on that stage accepting your award for best Oscar, is that what the Oscar for like best role or something like that. It's like, what does it feel like when you're giving that speech? All of that you materialize it just when you connect to that. So visualization and meditation is very important. for you, especially like with the Ace of Diamonds, and the Ten of Hearts. It just says it all over again. It's like when you really, really focus your heart and your emotions on what it is that you want, it comes true for you. All right, but we are going to pull you one of these Crystal Gemstone Archangel Affirmation cards and close it out. See what comes up for you. By the way, put a purple heart in the comments if this resonated. And remember, you can always book a reading with me if you want to. They come recorded as a personal video for you, just like this, that you can watch whenever you want to, over and over again. There's several to choose from. Just click the link in the description. You pull the Dumultriite. I don't know how to say that. I think I mispronounce it every time. Dumultriite? I don't know. It says, are you able to imagine your life asking help from the divine? Are you seeking inner peace? It is time to acknowledge that you have the ability to hear, sense, and know information and guidance from angels and spirit guides. Realign and develop your spiritual awareness. Objectively observe patterns and behaviors and shift. On the back it says, Archangel Raziel. I see life from a positive perspective. I have enhanced mental acuity. I magnetically attract peaceful, thoughtful people into my circle. I intuitively know what I need to know when I need it. I am grateful for assistance from the heavenly realm. And with that being said, guys, remember, if you got spirit, what? Spirit got you. Blessings in all we do. Bye.
If you got spirit, spirit got you. Blessings in all we do.
What up, pal number 3? Welcome to your reading on your strongest spiritual gifts. So getting into it, how I want to break this reading down for you is I want to look at your 2 strongest gifts. So one is going to be kind of what you come into this world with. You don't have to try too hard to access it. You may not even see it as a gift. It may come so easily to you. But the second one is going to be think of it almost like the spiritual reward that you get, or ability that you get for being able to get through so much of your lessons. And by lessons, I mean your trials and tribulations, like really connecting with your North Star, what your soul came down here to do. So I'll get into more about what that means as we go along in the reading. But this is going to be a multi-layered type of thing. But I want to start us off with your main energy, which is in the middle with the zodiac astrology symbols, the sun in Aquarius in the 11th house. You don't have to have those placements or have that placement at all. It's just giving me what your essence is like. So sun in Aquarius in the 11th house is very much forward thinking, futuristic. It's somebody who puts a lot of maybe emphasis on, say, the group, as in the community. You are probably a humanitarian, somebody who wants to belong, wants to feel like when you leave this earth, you leave it in a better place than it was when you found it. It's also somebody who can be a little bit more ahead of their time. You may work in, say, a field that has to do with, like, say, computers. You may work with, like, say, a group of people. You may be involved in, say, a spiritual group, like a coven of and I'm gonna get into that in a second, because there's something interesting that was coming up for me, for your pal specifically, about the word witch. I don't know if you're sensitive to that, but that comes up for you, because I'm getting like your gifts work stronger when you are with other people, or when you're doing it for other people. So side note, I'm getting this just randomly. In a past life, you may have been, say, a spiritual worker, a sorcerer, a sorceress, a witch, an oracle, someone who's, if you don't want to go that way with it, you could have even been, say, somebody high ranking in the church, like a priest or a priestess, somebody divine, or someone tapped into their innate, like, actual powers to manipulate space and time, sort of thing. I'm leaning towards witch for you in a past life, and because in this life you can't necessarily go the left hand path, meaning the path of self service. In this lifetime, your gifts are for service of others. And don't get me wrong. I think in different lifetimes we learn different spiritual lessons. There's something to be learned in the left hand path. Say a selfish witch, or a witch who casts spells and curses for her own personal gain. There's something to be learned in that. It normally gets you right back around to, like, say the right hand path. Like, even if you go that way, that selfish path, it's going to lead you right back down to service of others in a different lifetime after you learn that lesson. So I feel like for a lot of y'all, this is your time to really focus on, how can I use what I've already learned in past lives for good? Because that magician energy, what you tap into automatically pretty easily, is manifestation. And even if you don't do it in the form of rituals, which I feel like a lot of people in this pile probably do, or if you're not afraid of it, do it. And that may be part of your path to not be afraid of it. But no, really, you have the gift of manifestation on a higher level, though. Meaning that I feel like you have thoughts and desires that always find its way to you when you are focused intently on it. Now, the playing cards that I have next to the magician, those are going to represent, like, the situations of how you go about using your gifts, maybe even how they manifest. But the Four of Clubs is like saying, I think it happens when I think it's something that's passed down to you. You may have come from a long line of say spellcasters, root workers, herbalists, healers, occultists. You may have that in your bloodline. It may be just part of your ancestry, and it's almost like given to you. But not to say that's the only reason why. I think you also have this thing where you lived it in a past life, and now you just kind of come to work that energy in a more communal, more connected to the greater good of all type of way. And you'll notice, like, even if you don't say do rituals or say what most people would think as spells, you do, though, because anytime you speak your desires, anytime you pray for something or wish for something, that's kind of a spell. Like, is you putting that energy into the universe and intending on getting it. Now, when you're clear-minded with that Four of Spades, when you're clear-minded, at peace, when you're in a meditative state, especially, maybe even in a dreamy type of way, you will manifest it faster. So if you put your intentions into something when you are in a state of not panicking, not worrying, not freaking out, not anxious, but a true place of calm, cool collectedness, like you know exactly what it is you want and why you want it, you manifest it. The Six of Diamonds comes out saying that whatever you put into it is what you get back. Whatever energy that you put towards something, you get it just as equally back. There's a caveat to that, though. In this lifetime, whenever you do something, say if you use that energy for selfish reasons, say you want to dabble in a love spell or something crazy like that, or if you want to, or if you all your rituals, all your spells, all your ancestor work, because that's another thing. The Four of Wands, ancestor work, centers around gaining money, gaining fame, gaining popularity, gaining leverage over somebody. Just like anytime we put more emphasis on that, you will get, you will probably get it, but it'll come with a certain lack to it. It won't fulfill you, or once you get it, you'll realize, like, oh, this is more of a headache than I really wanted. This is more of a headache than I really even considered. So you see the backfire of those manifestations a lot. So, like I said, even if you're not actually casting spells like rituals and incantations and burning candles, which you probably should, especially if you've been interested in it, or if that's your vibe anyway, it's like, know that that's the strongest thing that you come in with, like, that you have access to. But also on a more, like, say if you're more religious or not so ritual basis, like your prayers, you may find that your prayers are answered right at the nick of time. Anytime you need something, it comes through. That's manifestation. It's like it's almost like you have a pipeline straight up to like your higher self and God. Like you shift into those realities where you get those things that you want, especially when those desires are aligned with the greater good of all. Now, shifting to like the energy of like maybe the spiritual gift that you are developing as we speak, meaning that your trials and tribulations, say the things you have had to overcome, your life experiences up until this point, what gift have you developed in this lifetime that you may carry over into the next life if you come back, you know? Is temperance, which is like saying you have the ability to basically combine two different things or many different things that have nothing to do with each other. You create. This is another form of the creator. So the magician is the creator, right? But the temperance card in this context is also the creator, but it's more so creating from things that already exist. Think fire and water, like the alchemist. You can turn almost nothing into something beautiful. You can turn something ugly into something beautiful. You can turn something worthless into something valuable. You know how to take what people don't see the greatness in and turn it into something wonderful, right? And it comes from like this three of spades energy, which is disappointment. It's heartbreak. It's like when people have let you down. When people let you down, when people when things didn't go to plan, you have found a way to always find that silver lining. And it's like using that almost that sense of like imagination to be able to say, you know what, wait. Instead of like looking at the glass half empty, I want to look at it half full. That's also that energy of what you can do. And so what it is, it's like you basically are able to carve out your own blessings or your own lane from like seemingly nowhere. Like people, like you can find something so perfectly wonderful out of things that people discard. And that may even be true to people as well, or to say people as in you can see somebody who maybe everyone's given up on, people don't like, people don't believe in, you in a more toxic way can grab that person and kind of, I don't want to say make a project out of them, but you can help them alchemize that energy of like worthlessness and show people the beauty within themselves. You're that person who befriends the underdog. You're that person who befriends the person who is just for all intents and purposes like people have given up on, cast it out, and say that they're a lost cause. You don't see people that way. You don't mind being that beacon of light and hope for people. Now that Jack of Clubs energy is like saying through trial and error is how you've kind of gotten here as well. So it's like not everything has worked. Not everything has been able to be alchemized into this idea of like turning garbage into gold. But it's like through that trial and error, through that fearlessness of like being adventurous enough and brave enough to try, you kind of find what will work and what maybe not. You know, you have that discernment of like, what can I pick up and what can I put down? Because temperance is also about no excesses and balance and making sure that things are equal, so to speak, you know, not going too overboard. So you've had to learn boundaries in that sense as well with yourself and other people, because the energy has a tendency to want to go overboard or have a tendency to kind of want more, or like see more in something than what's kind of possible with what you had, like with what you can work with sometimes, or like maybe underestimate or overestimate how much energy it will take to turn that into something that you want, you know? And that's where that King of Spades come in at, because it's like you've gained this wisdom or this idea of like being able to see things from a bird's eye perspective, being able to deconstruct things and see how a whole like system works instead of just like focusing on the little bitty details. No, you have a way of thinking that's very Aquarian, very Mercurian, meaning that you can have a genius way of seeing things. It's like you can see everything, you can see all the parts like working together and not like just individual parts, you know? It's like you can imagine these things in your head and you can kind of always be like 3 steps ahead. And so with that, how that is a spiritual gift is that you can use it as a compass as well. So it's almost like saying whenever you um, are in like a hard spot or a trouble area in your life, you can always kind of like trust that if you just kind of calm yourself and zoom out a little bit, you'll be able to see exactly where to go and how to get there. But it'll take a lot of trust and discernment. But I do want to pull you one of these crystal gemstone archangel affirmation cards before we close it out. Hopefully this made sense. Try not to make these too wah, you know. All right, so you have the sugar lights. And it says, are you experiencing repetitive thoughts or incessant mind chatter? Do you grab onto a thought, a memory, or a life experience and chew it over and over and over again? It's time to let go and release situations from your past, whether it was 5 minutes ago or 5 years ago, and find inner peace and true happiness. On the back it says Archangel Uriel. I am a miracle worker and love is vibrating in all aspects of my being. I easily transform and transmute negative energy. There it is. I release the past and move forward with love. I attract inner peace and great joy every day in many ways. I see the bigger picture. Okay, confirmations if you need them. You could be a Leo. You can be an Aquarius heavy. You can be Sagittarius heavy. Also seeing a little bit of Aries. But sound off in the comments. Let me know if this resonated, how this resonated. And remember, guys, I love you to pieces. Thank you so much. You can always book a personal reading if you want to. Send some change if you want to. If this message hit where it needs to hit. And remember, if you got spirit, what spirit got you? Blessings in all we do. Bye.